Okay. Share. Okay. Can you all see?
Yes, doctor.
Okay. Can anybody explain the amino acids? There are 25 amino acids. Can anybody sequentially tell it? Okay, I had the same difficulty when I started the Astra. And amino acid is something that I'm still trying to master after 9 years. Amino acid is the reason there's a lot of, if you can master amino acids, it masters a lot of information in the body. It's more of a protein synthesis. Okay. So you can see there are 25 amino acids. So what I've understood, to make it simple, we've taken out around 11 to 12 essential amino acids. So how to remember the essential amino acid is like this: PYT, TIM, HALL. So this person is a private, is a army guy, is a private. His name is Tim Hall. So if you can remember this, then it's very, very easy. Okay? Private Tim Hall. Okay. So the first one is phenylalanine. Okay. What is phenylalanine? Okay. Can you see that it's written there, phenylalanine? So what is this phenylalanine? Okay. Phenylalanine breaks down to, can you see tyrosine on the second slide? Okay. Phenylalanine, tyrosine. So phenylalanine converts to tyrosine, tyrosine converts to thyroxine, adrenaline or DOPA, and melanin. These are the four things that it will change, the phenylalanine. We are not talking about phenylketonuria. Okay. We are talking about DOPA, which DOPA and melanin and tyrosine or thyroid. Okay. So this is one of the indicator ahead of the blood test. In the blood test, we will never do tyrosine. Any doctors here doing amino acids test in your laboratory? Any doctor? So when I don't have an answer, I believe if none of us have done it, you are my colleagues. Remember, we are equal in terms of education, and we respect each other. I'm not your enemy, and we are friends. I'm trying to tell you to the next level. Okay. Okay. Can you see? Can you see here? Below the tyrosine, you can see BH4. Okay, this is tetrahydrobiopectrin. Okay, so the thyroid's function is to produce thyroxine, or the thyroxine T4 and T3, and its job is to absorb iodine. Okay, and tyrosine is a carrier. Okay, so if you look at the pathway in your blood test, you don't see all this. Okay, but in my S-Drive, you see, not my S-Drive, a lot of doctors here are using it. You can see phenylalanine and tyrosine. But your two-dimensional blood test, that means you do TSH, T3, T4, and thyroid antibodies, you don't detect this. So we are one step earlier than the regular blood test. Okay, we don't need to focus on rest of it. You just have to focus on tyrosine in the S-Drive or phenylalanine. That means the patient is subclinically hyperthyroid or hypothyroid or Hashimoto's. That means the patient is having autoimmune diseases. Okay, and it is subclinical autoimmune. You can't detect it, right? So you need norepinephrine, dopamine, and serotonin. These are happy hormones. So when you, Dr. Selvam, when you're seeing an S-Drive, when you have these deficiencies, the patient is not a happy patient.
Yes.
And the patient is never sleeping well.
Yeah.
So
It
what
must be
happened is,
some
yeah, go ahead.
anxiety and depression will be coexisting.
Exactly. Then send to a psychiatrist. Do psychiatrists do blood tests?
No, no.
No. All symptomatic waste. Okay.
Yes.
And they're very intelligent. Huh? I can't do what they do. We're just explaining that it's a two-dimensional doctors will do a TSH, T3, T4, and thyroid antibodies. But an S-Drive, when you do this, and then you can counter check with a blood test. Okay. So what does it mean? Subclinical hyperthyroid, not sleeping well, depressed. Okay. And what to do? We do TSH, T3, T4. We do reverse engineering. Don't do a TSH, T3 we don't know. Simply whack all the things. Okay. 20% of the thyroxine, T4 is converted to T3 in the liver, and 40% is converted in the gut. For that reason, we need to clear out the gut and the liver. Okay. And the intestines basically is chemicals, toxic metals, radiation, infection. And look for gluten. Why gluten? Gluten and thyroid have a molecular mimicry in the test, and look for D3 deficiency. Okay. So the next one is valine. Okay. Valine, you can see valine on top. Valine is for bodybuilding. Okay. And the next one will be isoleucine. So isoleucine is the other amino acid. And can you see in the down, isoleucine. And the third one will be leucine. Leucine is the other amino acid. Okay. So now I want to have a discussion with Dr. Selvam, and I want to share the intelligence of what he knows in relationship with diabetes. Okay. So Dr. Selvam, I'm bringing you aboard.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Huh?
Dr. Radha, you gave me two papers.
No, one first paper is good enough. Okay, unmute. Who's hold on? Huh? Selvam, Dr. Selvam. Let me add pin. Okay. So to rest of Malaysian doctors, I hope we learn. Sorry, can you hear me, Dr. Selvam?
Yes.
Okay. So, Dr. Selvam, you had a paper with a title, first paper. What was the title of the paper?
That is branch chain amino acids and insulin resistance from
Fantastic.
protein supply to diet induced obesity.
Fantastic. Okay. Tell me more. You have to summarize that thing in 250 words.
Yes. Regarding this paper, actually, this is a review article recently published,
Yes, 2022.
2023.
Yeah.
Yet, in this paper, the abstract is very clear. What is this abstract is BCAA is one hand and the insulin resistance is in the other hand. The author compares the both BCCA and insulin resistance. This review result of long-term scientific vigilance since 2016. Almost for the past 7 years, he completed all the previous papers and came to one conclusion. It clearly explains the BCAA metabolism and substantiates the blood, that is plasma branch chain amino acid, as a early biomarker for insulin resistance. This
Fantastic.
is actually a new thing, because nowadays what we are doing to detect the diabetes mellitus and insulin resistance, no, we are calculating only that HOMO-IR by the means of fasting insulin and fasting blood sugar. Even before that, if you are able to find out that BCAA markers, we can find out the insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes.
Fantastic
So,
information.
actually, moreover, in this paper, he brought out that mechanism of BCAA, that is branch chain amino acid, increased amount of branch chain amino acid, automatically it will increase the adiposity. This increased adiposity will cause hepatic lipogenesis. This hepatic lipogenesis again cause the obesity. This obesity will cause these microbiomes, which increased production of again the branch chain amino acids. So the extra fats which are produced inside the body is gets accumulated in the cardiac muscle, hepatocytes, even in skeletal muscles. The accumulation of lipids in the skeletal muscle causes again insulin resistance, for which again the insulin fasting insulin value is high. Automatically, the patient will develop type 2 diabetes. So this is clearly explains. So finally, this author concluded the sedentary lifestyle and poor dietary balance and importantly, environmental insult all leads to insulin resistance and diabetes. So moreover, he claims no conflict of interest in his study. This is very much
Fantastic.
appreciated.
Okay. You concluded the paper?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, what is your view and what do you want to criticize this paper about? Using your
Criticism means,
experience, what is your views
yeah.
and how do you want to criticize this paper?
Actually, when we started doing diabetes practice, that time leucine was very much helpful for diabetic patients to bring down the sugar value. It was our olden thoughts. But recently, for the past 10 years, leucine, that is branched-chain amino acid causing insulin resistance, which is the main role, which plays a main role for the this manifestation of diabetes in an adult. So totally two contradictory statements for the past 10 years. One is leucine is useful. Nowadays, leucine is not useful because it causing insulin resistance and also it precipitates type 2 diabetes mellitus in adults. So moreover, nowadays, most of the young adults, those who are going for gym and they are consuming that most of BCA products from the gym people, of late in the middle age itself, they become insulin resistance. At the age of 30, 35, they develop diabetes, even though they are going to gym and all. So, moreover, apart from this consumption of the branched amino acid powders, most of the fancy diets are nowadays everybody is following without any evidence, like paleo and keto and all. This will cause definitely insulin resistance. Suppose if the person is more sedentary, if the environmental insult is there, if he consumes more amount of protein, definitely he will end up in insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. This is my take home message regarding this paper.
Thank you so much I'm very proud of you, Doc. We are both come from the same college and we are going to
Thank you.
lead in Asia, India. India got 100 million diabetics and I have been teaching reversing diabetes in India,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I'm
Yes.
teaching to a diabetologist. That must be crazy.
This is a proud moment because you are an alien. Because you must teach all the doctors in the
Okay.
world.
So you have no criticism on the page on the chapter.
No, this is exactly correct,
Okay.
100% correct.
So let me criticize the paper.
Please.
Okay. There are 20 insulin resistant factors. Is
Yeah,
this a major framework, my intermediate framework, or minor framework?
it's a major framework.
I don't think, I mean, my opinion, I think this is just an intermediate framework
Okay.
because the
Okay.
metabolic syndrome is the first.
Okay.
Associated with the metabolic syndrome will be this. I'm going to
Okay.
redraw the picture. I'm just
Okay.
sharing my version and your version.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, if both of us think same, then one of us is not required. We
Yes.
need to differ in thinking to
Yes.
elevate ourselves to the next level. Okay,
Yeah.
I've told
Yeah.
you in India, if they take on me, I'll kill you.
Okay.
I care two hoots about who the specialist is. Okay, because I
Okay.
develop products to answer all these. They are using third-party
Okay. Okay.
product. I have developed products to answer these. Just like the ventricular
Okay.
fibrillation disappear. Okay, that
Okay.
means I've beaten some of the cardiologists in India.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I need to censor that.
Okay.
We honor and respect that. We honor and
Yeah.
respect. I can't do what they do. But our teaching system is such that they did not address this kind of so-called idiopathic. So we stop thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
Second, what is the pathway involved in leucine? How does leucine acts? Okay. Basically, they have given an mTOR transcription pathway. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you draw the mTOR pathway for insulin resistance? I can. Okay. So, but again, when the patient walks into a clinic, I can't show mTOR. Here's my mTOR. So we have to be more practical in approach. Theory one
Yeah.
side, practicality. So for me, it's about practical. Okay. The third question is, if you are in ICU,
Mm.
okay, patient is now bedridden for maybe 20 days, 30 days. So we're going to put a lipid drip or a protein drip.
Okay.
Okay. What will happen to the insulin levels, doc?
Insulin level will go up.
Fantastic. So now we are coordinating the story of real life. So that
Yeah.
period they give insulin doses. Am I remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So next question. I'm discussing with you. I'm not questioning you.
Okay.
BCAA is branched chain amino acids. That's for exercise and bodybuilding, right? Would you
Yeah.
want to take after exercise or before exercise? If so, why so? If not, why not? Dr.
It
Ravi
is.
style.
Yes.
He's a
It should be
4 gold medalist.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. It should be taken before food. Before exercise.
I think it should be taken after exercise.
Oh,
Let's correct
okay.
it. We have a difference in opinion. We'll check it out. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So now the next question we want to ask you is what is controlling the amino acids in the pancreatic beta cell metabolism? There's a key enzyme that controls the amino acids, the ammonia metabolism in pancreatic cells, liver, and the brain.
Potassium ATPase?
You're quite close. Is GDH.
Oh,
Glutamate.
glutamate. Yes, decarboxylase. Okay.
So I'm actually going to draw the pathway afterwards. Okay.
Okay.
Next
Okay.
question. Okay. So I remember showing you the BH4 cycle, right? Now come back.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I want to know. Let's say you're sitting in this thing, and the patient diabetic takes green tea.
Okay.
Okay. Will it inhibit GDH? Yes or no? But if you were to take a glass of sugary water, will it stimulate insulin?
Yes.
Okay,
Sugar
come
is
back
what?
to that. It will inhibit the GDH, green tea,
Yeah.
but glucose does not inhibit the insulin release.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Next question. Aluminum toxicity, which is very common in many countries.
Yeah.
How does it inhibit GDH?
Oh, no idea.
No problem. This is another question. Okay. Okay. When we were to if we were to inhibit the ATP synthase in mitochondria,
Okay.
okay, that is the first beginning step of beta cell dysfunction.
Dysfunction.
Mitochondria is the key. And when there's oxidative stress, it will go into UPR, means unfolding of protein receptors. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So now next question is, if there's a chronic exposure to cytokines, what will happen at the pancreatic cells?
Apoptosis, pancreatic cell destruction, beta cell destruction.
Fantastic, doc. So there's a dysfunction of
Yeah.
mitochondria.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why Restore will go and correct this oxidative stress in the mitochondria. It protects the pro-insulin, the ribosomes, the unfolding of protein receptors. So what happens is when there's a chronic exposure to cytokines, that includes interleukin 1b, tumor necrotic factor, and interferon, it activates the inducible nitric oxide synthetase in the pancreatic beta cells. So when it induces, the nitric oxide goes up, and there's no, and then it stops the binding of, it stops the binding at electron transport chain at fourth pillar,
Yeah.
okay, at the electron transport chain, and that is where the cytokines induce, like what you said, apoptosis and dysfunction. So instead of correcting all these, the pancreas that produces glucose, we are bothered about HOMA-IR.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, these sugars are like this. Okay. You take care of pancreas, it takes care of everything. Okay. So now next question. In an S drive, how does, okay, never mind. A child comes in, you did an S drive. Okay. And you found a BCAA deficiency. What does it tell you?
Hyperinsulinemia?
No. You will see it. So probably the child is malnutrition.
Okay. Okay.
Or some toxic metal must be blocking the pathways. I'm going to draw the pathways. Okay. So if you have oxidative stress with mitochondrial dysfunction and apoptosis, how does it appear on S drive? You will see superoxide dismutase deficiency. You will see CoQ10 deficiency. Okay, key factors, and you'll also see manganese deficiency, copper deficiency, zinc deficiency, because I love to catch mitochondria. So Restore is built to correct mitochondria. So my research for PhD in the future will be mitochondrial diseases associated with rheumatoid arthritis and nanocurcumin.
Okay.
Curcumin is an Indian product 100 years. How did an Indian from outside India got
This,
what do you call, the enlightenment to bring it back to India.
yeah.
How did not one Indian doctor or Indian scientist took 1.4 billion? I took the challenge. Okay. So now, if it's a youth coming down and you have a BCAA deficiency, what do you infer? Stop asking cigarette smoking, pollution.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
If it's a bodybuilding guy, it is supply versus demand. But if it's an old person coming in, 60 years old, and then you see BCAA, are you worried about insulin resistance, or you tell him he's going down?
It's going down.
Okay. I have seen all three leucine, isoleucine, valine deficiency, that is sarcopenia.
Okay.
So I've done more than 10,000 tests. I'm coming back at it clinically.
Okay.
Okay, so now what I want to explain, if you take for obese patient a blood test,
Okay.
will the blood chain amino acid be normal, low, or high?
It should be high.
High. Why? Because coming out from the muscles. Okay, and most of it, okay. If you have, you're a physician, I need to take your advice. A CKD patient, CKD 4,
Okay.
the first thing we'll ask him to is to shift out proteins.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? Which proteins do you think that we want to shift out? Because
This
the moment you
branch.
stop the meat protein, he will go down. So we're
Okay.
converting him to a vegetable proteins.
Okay.
Okay. I hope I've added on to what you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And before we go to the next chapter, next continuation, where do I stand with my knowledge in India? India is a nation of brilliant doctors.
Yeah.
Where do you think I stand now?
So you are number one because in India, epigenetics is new for all the doctors. No one knows what is epigenetics. So every doctor is treating only the symptoms. They are not trying to find out the root cause, and they are not clearing out the problems. So they are just symptomatic doctors. So
Okay.
your teaching is totally something different because I treat atherosclerosis, but you treat the causes for atherosclerosis, the root causes for atherosclerosis. I treat
And
diabetes, but you find out the reason for diabetes, beta cell dysfunction.
so
That is where you are differ from Indian doctors. You are superior to Indian doctors.
So
That
your
is the
brain
thing.
is worth 10,000 crores.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why we need to convert that digitally, which I'm doing it now slowly.
Okay.
Okay, we are not challenging anyone.
Yeah.
We are
Yes.
changing the direction and approach to diseases.
Yes.
Okay, and so I'll continue with the subject on branch and other amino acids. Thank you, Dr. Silvam.
Thank you.
Hold on. Thank you so much. I have to remove you from the unpin. Okay. Okay. So the next chapter. So we finished amino acids. What does it mean? High cholesterol. I forgot to write insulin resistance, Dr. Salva. Forgive me for that. I want to go onto the whiteboard and show what insulin resistance look like in India. So this is the muscle. We're talking about BCAA. This is the insulin receptor. And when insulin stimulates, it goes through the signaling pathway. And you have glucose 4 transportase, and it opens up a window for glucose to enter. So when there's too much of glucose, this shuts down. That is one insulin resistance. That means it requires chromium. And what other, Dr. Selvam, what other problems in India of insulin resistance is toxic metals, chemicals, LDL, and oxidative stress. These are the other causes of insulin resistance. So it's just not purely. So at this stage, Dr. Selvam, you will find BCA deficiency, branch chain amide, either valine, isoleucine, leucine. So indirectly, you can tell this patient is having something blocking it. Okay, and then we can go and test more of these. Okay. Okay. So I'll share the other slides. Okay, so now we're going down. Can you see isoleucine, leucine, and valine? This is the only test out of 10,000 I got front chain amino acid. This is an old man around 80 years old. So he came to see me. Basically, when you look at this, I don't want to say it, but like you're seeing death. You know, sarcopenia is set in. Okay, so this is the only test that I found so far, complete. Okay, what to do? Okay, next amino acid is tryptophan. So what is tryptophan? Tryptophan, can you see tryptophan? Tryptophan converts to serotonin, 5-HTP, 5-HTP to serotonin, serotonin to melatonin. Means if you are having tryptophan deficiency, you're also not a happy person. This is part of BH4 cycle. Okay, and it also regulates behavior, neural activity, immune reaction, and the tryptophan levels. Okay, so tryptophan is very high in animal sources, but other things like soya, spirulina. Okay, I want you all to go back and read more because we are doctors. I think we're equally intelligent. I'm just showing you a clue. Okay, and tryptophan. So you want to be happy, take tryptophan. Okay. So protein enters the body, amino acids, you have tryptophan one side, tyrosine. Tyrosine it comes to serotonin, serotonin, dopamine. And this is where, if these two are missing, they are depressed. These are happy hormones, okay, for better sleep. Okay, sometimes you can get this serotonin, tryptophan as a supplement. Okay, so what does it mean? That means you're having sleepless nights, restless nights, leaky gut. Okay, what to do? Look for chemicals which is blocking, toxic metal which is blocking, radiation which is blocking, SIBO, gut, leaky gut, melatonin, tryptophan, probiotics. Okay, so what is the next? Okay, let me come back here. When I was developing Gut Restore, that time it's called Gut Restore, because I saw it's melatonin here, I added melatonin in my Restore. What I found is that many of them slept very well. There were some could not wake up in the morning. It was 5 milligrams for males and 3 milligrams for women. Then later, I have reduced because of this inability to rise up in the morning. I put 3 milligrams for male and 1 milligram for women. Still, they could not wake up because at that period, I didn't believe in something called so-called functional medicine. So when I went and checked back, and I found the basic mistake. Melatonin in the gut through tryptophan is produced by enterochromaffin cells. Melatonin is a paracrine in the intestine. The melatonin in the brain is an endocrine. So instead of putting melatonin, I took it off and put tryptophan, and then it solved the problem. Okay, so a lot of products out there, they just copy and paste. Restore is made on intelligence. Okay, next. Can you see that chironate pathway? Chironate goes to the citric acid cycle. It also goes into NAD pathway. Okay, so let's go next. So we covered this. So phenylalanine covered, branch chain amino acid covered, three of them. That leaves threonine. Threonine is a very difficult thing that I could not decode so far because it's related to serine threonine. It's a complex during the in the signaling pathway. And I'm not able to crack this code even until now, how to relate to a disease, how to relate to something. But what I know is threonine means you're not able to break down fat. Okay, it's for production of collagen, elastin, muscle, and multiple sclerosis. This is all theory, but in physical, I'm not sure how to relate this. Okay, so the next amino acid is methionine. Okay, methionine. So can you see methionine? This is my test, which I've done in 2015. So I have isoleucine deficiency and methionine deficiency. What does it mean? So if I put methylation here, okay, let's go. Can you see the center methionine? In the methionine, it converts to to homocysteine. On the right side, it requires B12. On the left side, it requires betaine and converts to TMG. That means this is fatty liver ahead of a blood test. Okay, so this is the other version. Okay, please go back and read methylation. Methylation is the first step into diseases. And methylation can cause patient to be irritable, lack of sleep, and agitation. Okay, methylation. Okay, this is part of methylation. Please go back and read. Okay, B12. So this is what I want to actually draw for you and me. So okay, Dr. Prabha is here. So let me draw it on a paper, on the whiteboard. So this is methionine. Methionine converts to homocysteine. One of our doctors asked, where is the cysteine? Methionine disappeared from the training in the video. I said I've drew this many times, including this is methionine converts to homocysteine, homocysteine methionine. It requires betaine. You can see in S drive under vitamins. It converts to TMG, and you have one B12, B9, BH4. This is where tryptophan comes in, tyrosine comes in, and this is where the urea cycle occurs. Okay, it means basically you're having a fatty liver. Basically, if you lack B12 or you lack methionine, that means homocysteine is not able to convert to here this thing into methionine. That means you're building blood blockages. And one day you get a chest pain, you go, they'll put a stent rather than correcting this methionine. Okay, and this is inflammation. So we do HSCRP, which is non-specific. When you do homocysteine levels or B12 levels, it gives you a very specific indicator. You correct this, you reverse your heart conditions. Okay. Next. So you can see alcohol intake, excessive exercise, smoking on the OTC drugs, infections. Okay, we just simply do ultrasound without any meaning. We just say this is fatty liver. Nobody defines what fatty liver is. Okay, poor nutrition. So fatty liver means this methionine deficiency or B12 deficiency or homocysteine, it means you have a non-alcoholic fatty liver. There's a methylation problem. Homocysteine is very high. And what we can do is ultrasound. Ultrasound is gross IM into biochemistry. We give liver support, juicing, and Mayer's infusion. So if you understand this, when you do an S-drive, when you find methionine deficiency, best is to give one session of Mayer's infusion, which includes 10 grams of vitamin C. You add Trovite. You add 1 glutathione and vitamin C. Magnesium sulfate. And you earn somewhere between 300 to 500. Depends on your skills and depend on your ability. Depends on your setup. If your setup is small, you can't charge 500. Okay, so that is how we convert our intelligence to money. Okay, so if you look at methylation, when you go for some of these pharmaceutical causes, they say they have a methylation solution. This is what they give you. Okay, it makes no sense. They one time, hantam everything. Okay, so management of fatty liver.
Fatty liver. Now, I'm sure you've heard about it. If you don't have it, you probably know somebody who has it. Having a fatty liver increases your chances of having diabetes by 5 times, increases the odds ratio of having heart disease by 10 times, and then increases the chance of colon cancer 3 times. Why is this so important? Well, because you don't have symptoms. I'll give you an example. In the past, there were a cohort of patients who died because of liver disease, and we didn't know why. Now we know up to about 60% of these people had elements of a fatty liver. We are the fattest nation in the whole of Southeast Asia. Food is abundant, but low quality food, and that's really bad to us. Fatty liver could be caused by so many different things. For example, alcohol excess, autoimmune conditions, genetic issues, viruses, all can lead to this. First, find out if you have a fatty liver, and if you do, then you need to isolate the cause. It's not about taking a supplement to treat the thing. There is no quick fixes. You need to know what causes it, treat the root cause, and you solve your problem. Then again, you reduce your risk of diabetes, heart disease, and colon cancer, which we're all really aware of and really worried about. But yet we keep ignoring this quiet little fatty liver slowly simmering at your liver and potentially destroying it. Often you just need a blood test or an ultrasound, which is non-invasive. And if you do have something like this, then you need to know why and what to do. Once you know what to do, you reduce your risk. This is Dr. Prabjot. Ordinarily, if something has changed from your normal, go get it checked. In the case of fatty liver, if you're concerned about it, go and see a doctor.
Okay, so causes of fatty liver: toxic metal, chemicals, alcohol, gut fermentation, SIBO, C4 virus, gluten-free diet, and obesity. So correct these, we correct the ultrasound, not take some of the products outside there saying they can cure. How are you going to remove toxic metals? Okay, so you can use apple vinegar cider, you can go to lemon, lime, green tea, curcumin, papaya, grapefruit from India, and exercise. Exercise is a must, huh? Okay. And intermittent fasting is the other way of doing things. Okay. Causes of fatty liver I've already written. Okay. So the next amino acid, okay, is histidine. So histidine is nothing but histamine. Can you see histidine down? Down here. Okay, you can see histamine. Histamine is basically histamine, histidine. But there are people who are having DOA enzyme deficiency. So they're not able to metabolize or convert histidine. So that's a later chapter, which I can send it to you all. But basically, when you see histamine, it is histidine is equals to histamine deficiency. Okay, there is a, sorry, massive release of histamine. Okay, this is a metabolic pathway. It's not important. Okay. Okay. And if you have glutamine deficiency and histamine deficiency, this is leaky gut. Okay, glutamine is the main ingredient required by the liver to detox. Glutamine is the main energy that required by gut. And on top, gut has got microscopic holes because of histamine deficiency. This is pure leaky gut. Then we have to ask, what is it causing this problem? It can be toxic metals, chemicals, inflammation, so many other factors. Okay. Okay, what's the next one? Arginine. Okay, I'm sure you're well versed with arginine. Arginine basically means it's a vasodilatation. Okay, and please read up about this. I'm going to skip very fast. Okay, what does it? Cardiac insufficiency, erectile dysfunction, and hypertension. Okay, can you see citrulline and arginine deficiency? Okay, citrulline and arginine deficiency means it's totally is unable to vasodilate. It's like you're seeing a heart attack ahead of time. Okay, so you got to be very careful of how you see and how you interpret, because wrong interpretation will the patient will slap you. Okay, so it's very important to use proper language for them. Okay, so next will be sharing. Okay, I used to be very aggressive when I first got this S-Drive, and I learned the hard way. Lysine, please read back on lysine. Lysine is basically assisting the protein blocks in the body and calcium absorption. This is BCAA. Okay. So what is aromatic amino acids? Please go back and read. Okay. We all are doctors. We are intelligent. Okay. This is what I used to train 9 years ago to demonstrate what is BCAA.
Building body, exercising. Okay, so can see this is leaf. I'll tell you what leaf is. Okay.
Okay, let's skip. Okay, all this. Okay, let's go to non-essential. Okay, we've shown this citrulline. Okay, we stop this this sharing here, and I'm going to stop recording. Okay. These are many. This is the old test. See omega-3 deficiency, omega-6. Omega-6 also 3 also addresses endocannabinoid system. Okay? Endocannabinoid system has been wiped out from textbooks, but you can go back and read omega-3 or omega-6 and endocannabinoids on Google, and you'll find it. Okay, omega-3 is borderline. Okay, so when some patient sees you, you must be able to tell 5 or 6 things about what omega-3 can do. Okay, it reduces cholesterol, it reduces the heart rate, it reduces the arrhythmia, and it also reduces the seismic resistance, like that. You should be able to tell a few words of it. Okay, like these fatty acids, triglycerides come down, reduces arrhythmias. Okay, inflammation. What they found in US that those patients who had heart attack, they usually have sudden death later. So it cuts down by 39% sudden heart attack, sudden death. So if you look at the right side and left side, right side, you can see omega-3 go down straight to the bottom is anti-inflammatory. If you see on the left side, omega-3 straight down, it is pro-inflammatory. Okay. And this is for me, not for you. Don't have to worry, all the pro-inflammatory and inflammation. Okay, so this is what I want to explain. This is hydrophilic and hydrophobic. So you can see that bilipid layers lined by it. So when there is you're taking some chapluk stuff, omega-3, you cheat your own cells, especially synthetic vitamin omega-3. If you take an original, it'll give you a proper exchange. Inside the cell is the nucleus, ribosomes, mitochondria, and many others. So there's a communication going on between the cell inside and outside. And if you were to cheat these part, then you're likely not to protect yourself. Okay. And one of the important things is where the omega-3 is coming from, 6 is coming from, omega-9 is coming from. By right, we are eating too much of omega-6. Okay, by right, you don't need all 3 of them. Body can absorb. Okay, we get carried away by advertisements or Sachaichi, all 3. Okay, and then we overdo that. So you just have to have adequate food. nuts and fish to get the 3 and the 6, and this is all from olive oil. Okay, we all can read up about this. Okay, so the ratio of omega-3 to 6 is 1 to 2, but when we eat in McDonald's, it'll be 1 to 16 or 1 to 30. So it's more inflammatory. Another thing, Dr. Silva, okay, when there's a deficiency, it means that you have inadequately consumption. Bacteria is not able to digest. There can be presence of toxic metals, chemicals, and intestinal diseases. Okay, so wait, I want to stop here. So all of us will eat food outside. Dr. Silvam, the food outside is very nice in India. What oil do you think they use?
Usually they use sunflower oil.
Okay, unsaturated fatty acids, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but otherwise, do everybody use sunflower? So a lot of us are
Next
eating
is palm.
palm. Palm is good. Okay, what I'm saying is many places where they use very cheap oil, it causes a lot of inflammation and indirectly causes insulin resistance.
Yes.
Okay, so when we are advising patients with diabetes, tell them what food and what oil they should be using. Instead of doing, we'll add some more insulin, DPP-4, SGLT2, okay, GLP-1, and all the latest drugs. You know, the person sitting in front of us has a family behind him.
Yeah.
And what we're doing is we have to learn to use our knowledge to heal people rather than not to use this kind of methodology, which I don't agree. Okay, my fight, I can't fight alone, but I'm telling to you all how to go about. Malaysian doctors, most of us don't even see the sunlight. Their rooms don't even have a window. Okay, and they don't have proper food. Lunch, they'll ask the nurse to bring some packeted food. Please, we all have to take care of ourselves. I've seen a lot of deaths among the doctors. The only difference between you and me, I only work 2 hours, 2 or 3 days a week. Okay, I see plenty of sunlight. So doctors need to take care, and you're eating a lot of omega-6, and it's inflammatory. Okay, is there any other topic I'm supposed to cover? I have one.
Use, I think viruses.
Okay, viruses I won't cover today. You want me to cover very fast? I can cover. I want to give. Who's taking the $3,000 package? Huh? $3,000, $5,000 packages. Okay, what I'm going to do? Okay, I'm going to post a. Okay, when shall you have? No, after this I'll finish the viruses. I had to rewrite some of them. The reason is the new development like COVID. Post-virus. Okay. In the S drive, you get virus. So what you and I have to do, doctors, that if a woman is prone for cancer, on OCP, on chemicals exposure, toxic metals, multiple joint aches, autoimmune conditions, and then you find virus, you and I need to investigate it very carefully. Okay. So it can be cytomegalovirus, rubella virus, herpes simplex, H. pylori, okay, and toxoplasmosis. So the patient I showed you just now, the cancer of esophagus, has H. pylori, okay, and these are the viruses, most common viruses that you need to investigate. We do a PCR for these. Okay, in your clinic, we can do a breath test or H. pylori test, blood test is already available. Herpes simplex. When you see viruses, please do. Not necessary the person has to take medication, but we can improve immunity and target CMV too. Okay, so leave all that. Okay, how it stimulates EBV retrovirus molecular mimicry. Okay, do a PCR test for it and treat. This is a phototherapy where they use a therapy to kill all the virus. Okay, some of them use ozone to kill viruses. If the person is prone for viruses, like repeatedly you find pap smear, that's where you probably can use your skills. But as long as the Malaysian government allows, no problem. But if they don't allow you try anything, they'll go after you next year. Okay, not this year. They are going to catch one by one. Okay, if you look at post-virus, okay, post-virus means it can be a hepatitis virus, or it can be STD, it can be viral fatigue syndrome, okay, it can be enterovirus, but we need to investigate. If the patient is symptomatic, any form of myasthenia gravis, it could be related to some virus, Dr. Selvam, am I right? Or fatigue syndrome or any of these
Yeah.
neuromuscular.
Yes.
So we need to investigate and target the root cause and the damage done by the root cause. So I want to stop here. I want to explain to you. Okay. This is how you have to see. This is the root cause. This is the damage done by root cause. It can be peptic ulcer. It can be bloating sensation. It can be dyspepsia. It can be peripheral neuropathy. So instead of targeting these, we target these and the damage done by the root cause. You reverse diseases. But what I am doing is, what is targeting this? I look for 5 other things that's targeting. It can be viruses, bacteria, toxic metal, chemicals, UV radiation, targeting this. So I not only target this, I target that, I target this, and we reverse. Okay, and I want to thank you all for coming today. I want to stop for a short while. I want to stop recording because I want to tell something else.